Hey, it's another teardown. We are live right now. And if I did everything right, you'll be able to hear me. We have Lance on, we have Mahmood. What's up? Hopefully, there'll be a few people hopping on here. I am using the new camera. This is a new webcam. John sent a Amazon gift card, and when people do that, I usually try and upgrade, some sort of piece of equipment that will help the channel. So, John, appreciate it if you're watching. We have Jaron on also. Yesterday, I didn't do a teardown. Am I screaming? By the way, I could talk quieter. No need. I got to protect my voice. So, I didn't do a teardown yesterday because I was brewing beer. So people may have seen that short video. So I did brew some beer yesterday. I've just been behind. There's been a lot of water in the crawl space that I've been dealing with for like the last month. It'll be an ongoing project. It's all good down there. It's less wet than it was, and I should have a dehumidifier coming in today, so I can get it down there and start drying it out a little bit. So the thing is, I got behind, didn't get to do it, and I thought, hey, I'll just do it on Wednesday because I make my own schedule. So I decided to do it on Wednesday, and that is what we're doing here. So quick, just say hello to a couple other people. We have my man David. Good to have you back on more often, and I appreciate you noticing the shine. It's hard to get my head to shine like it does. I have one of those, the bowling ball cleaner shiner deals. Got one of those, so I don't need a hair dryer. I actually need a shiner. Just kidding. It just shines naturally. So today we're going to look at Outdoor Gear Lab. We're going to pause just a second because I see there are some questions, and I do always like to say hello to everyone. So I'll do that until we get started. So if you're watching the replay, perhaps you can fast forward a couple minutes here. So we have Veet is how I say your name. Steven, what's up? Is asking about an income school video. I'll come to that in a second. Philly's in the building. What's up, Sterling and Tisme? We have Furhan and Lance, our kind moderators. Appreciate you guys helping out, keeping order. So I'll just answer this right now. So Steven says, did I see the video the income school took down about the keyword golden ratio? Yeah. So I'll basically not say too much. Ricky emailed me yesterday evening to let me know that they were going to post something to that effect. And I was like, okay. So from my perspective, they let me know. They're good guys. I like Jim and Ricky. And I said, hey, let's have a meeting and talk about it. But, I think they're going to publish something soon. And I expect that, there'll be some dialogue going back and forth. And I think they're stand-up guys. It'll be interesting to see what their take is. And I'm happy to, go back and forth with them. I think it's great. So it's interesting they took it down. And I, like I said, I asked to meet up with them and talk about it. I think that'll be great to have a discussion. So I think, other people will come on and probably ask. I'll just say, we'll wait for it to be published, and then we'll come back and talk about it later. I may do a live stream later about it anyway, just for fun. Okay, so we're going to look at Outdoor Gear Lab today. And as normal, we're going to hop over to SEM Rush for a minute just to look at the sort of traffic numbers. We're not going to spend too much time. And by the way, the SEM Rush, SEM Rush link in the description is an affiliate link, so I get a commission. It's clearly noted there, but you can get like a 7-day free trial. You have to enter your credit card number, just cancel before the 7 days are up. You can get a lot of data in a short amount of time. So if you haven't used SEM Rush before, really powerful, and I think it is worth checking out if you haven't used it before. So let me just double check I have the right screen pulled up here, and I do. Awesome. So I'm going to start sharing now. And that is the window. All right. So hopefully everyone can see this well. This is Outdoor Gear Lab, and in the comments, if you're watching the replay, let me know if you've taken a look at this site before. I have reviewed it before, but that was, sort of a different format, the long meandering format. And, today we're doing it live, so we will have questions. If you're watching in the comments, or sorry, you're watching the replay, leave a comment. Let me know if you've seen this site before and what you think of it. Okay. Next, we're going to take a look at just quickly the homepage. So this is one of the recommendations where I tell people to, go check out Outdoor Gear Lab to get an idea about, what a homepage should look like. And we'll look more in depth in a moment here, but there's white space. It's generally clean, and there's a lot of content, but it's a huge site. So that's kind of why there's so much on here. But you can see, they're not trying to target any keywords. They just have excerpts and ways to navigate through the site. So that's like the main theme that you want to have on your homepage, right? The ability to navigate through your site. Before we go too much farther, I just want to show something. So in the Google search, if you just Google Outdoor Gear Lab, which gets like 18,000 searches per month, that's like pretty amazing just for the brand to be searched for that much. But I mean, it's a testament to how well they've done their branding over time. The thing I wanted to point out here is they have Outdoor Gear Lab is such a big site. They have this sort of, if someone Googles it, Google knows that they are probably interested in seeing a review about outdoor gear. So you can search like directly like results from Outdoor Gear Lab. I haven't noticed that as much. I don't know how new it is, or if I just rarely search for like brand names, but I thought that was pretty cool. Additionally, they have like the main like sections or categories. So this is, sort of, it notes a well-organized site, right? Like it's so well organized that, if we click there, it takes us to the category of, whatever it happens to be. All right. So this is, something to strive for. And if you just have your site well organized, you have a better chance at it. I'm actually not great at this sort of thing because my organization of setting up sites usually isn't this tight. But I think if you had, for example, camping and hiking, if you set up a page, I'm just going to click on it to see what happens. Camping and hiking, it takes you to basically a category type page, and you have it's almost like a home page for the specific topic. I mean, it's sort of set up in the same way and allows you to essentially like navigate through those specific sections. All right. So that is kind of, what we're looking at here. Now, as I mentioned, SEM Rush. So we're going to get an idea of the traffic levels here. So SEM Rush is a great tool. And a lot of times the estimates are off, right? They're usually like lower than whatever SEM Rush estimates. So SEM Rush is telling us the Outdoor Gear Lab is getting potentially around 339,000 visitors per month. That is based on their estimates of like organic search traffic based on where they rank in the keyword search volume. So that said, it means that there's a lot of long tail keywords that are not accounted for in this estimate. So oftentimes it could be 50% higher, or 300% higher, like 1.5 to 3 times more traffic than what they're estimating. They are running some paid ads. It looks like it looks like only one keyword, which is interesting. Maybe they were doing a test at some point in time. And then as far as backlinks and stuff, SEM Rush doesn't have like the greatest database, but we can get an idea that, almost 2,000 is 1,800 referring domains. That's a lot, right? That's quite a few. And additionally, we could see that the site has at least been around since, or at least the data here is since 2011. So it's a mature site. It's an older site in general. and a lot of traffic. We can see they had some ups and downs, and it looks like, sometime last year in early, like, January 2017, right? It looks like their traffic went up a decent amount. Maybe they got some good rankings in January, or sorry, in December and in January, and then it went down a little bit. And it seems to have returned to like a lower level, like where they were at in 2015. Now, I don't know. There's always updates going on. I'm not sure, like, what happened. I didn't investigate ahead of time or anything, but my hunch is there's just more competition out there. So maybe, smaller folks like us are going after keywords and getting like a little bit more traffic, or it could be, Outdoor Gear Lab had some portion of, links that I don't think they did any gray hat stuff, by the way, but maybe some portion of the links they had weren't great and they were not recognized by Google anymore, something like that. So just because there's a rankings decline doesn't mean anything weird happened. It could just be, things change. Maybe they had, a set of links that are not valued as much anymore. So one of the most powerful things is the top organic keywords, and essentially you can check out the full report and export those. It's a really great way to get a list of keywords that people are searching for and that sites are ranking for. Perhaps, right, of these 139,000 words, you can filter it down, find some keyword golden ratio terms, and put them on your site. The thing is, Outdoor Gear Lab may be ranking for terms in which they're not even trying to rank for. They're just ranking because they have so many backlinks and stuff like that. So, like I said, really powerful. You can go to view full report, and then you get, all this information. 139,000 keywords is obviously way too much to actually like use. So you'll need to filter down, use the advanced filters here, and you can narrow it down to, hopefully like 1,000 words or something like that, and really hone in on what you're aiming for. So going back to the homepage here, let's look at this a little bit deeper. And I'm going to take a peek every now and then that at the chat here just to see if there's any questions. And let's see. All right, we have, okay, we're going way back. So we have Brandon. Thanks for the email, by the way. Really appreciate that one. And I had a lot of emails going out over the last couple days here. And then we have Fran says, yeah, you noticed the income school video was taken down. Stop promoting the keyword golden ratio. Okay, cool. So, and again, this is part of the reason why the live teardowns are actually good, because I can hop over and see the questions. It does take a second, so I'm still trying to figure out the best way to do that. Anyhow, as we go through here, it looks like they have recent posts sort of in this section here on the right side, and then they have best backpacking sleeping bags. So they sort of like narrow it down a bit for you. They have a nice images, and most of these don't appear to be like stock images. Now they look like they're professionally taken, so that is interesting. But a site this big, you would kind of expect that they have the ability to have photographers and stuff like that. So as we're just taking a look, I sort of glossed over the top. They have a reasonable, logo, and that's fine. Generally simple, but it's kind of a cool logo where they're saying, we test outdoor stuff. There's little mountains in the Erlenmeyer flask there, and they have the flask, which denotes the lab. So kind of smart, and people get it. They have a big search bar here, which is good. So people could just look exactly for what they're looking for, and then a way to navigate through these sections here. Next, we can see that they actually, they allow you to join Outdoor Gear Lab, sign in, and so forth. So you could put in your reviews and stuff like that. So as we scroll down, we see just more reviews. So we get the sections that we saw before. So we have the camping and backpacking, cycling and mountain biking, and then hiking shoes and boots. So that kind of lines up with what we saw before here. Not exactly, but there's some similar categories. So I suppose that Google knows the highest trafficked categories, or the ones that are organized. Maybe they guess, maybe they've tested what they put here and see what people actually click on, and Google has figured out that's what people are looking for. So unsure how that's exactly determined, but I would suspect there's some testing that goes on. Next, we have all the categories on the left side. So again, it really allows you to navigate. Now, the one minor complaint, right? Obviously, Outdoor Gear Lab knows what they're doing. But the one complaint is there are so many options here. It can be a tad overwhelming. It's kind of like, if you remember before Google, when there were basically, it was sort of like what Yahoo was and Alta Vista. It was sort of like, what did we call those kind of sites, folks? I can't remember, but the sites where it was just like, a table of contents, and you like navigated further down. So it wasn't so much searching, it was just going deeper and deeper into a table of contents and then finding what you were looking for. I can't remember. It's going to be something obvious whenever someone says it. So there's a lot of options on here, but it allows one to navigate through whatever they want to get to. Directory sites. Yeah. So basically directory sites. That's right. And one thing, right? So they have how-to articles, and this is, a little bit different than, say, the Wirecutter. And I think the Wirecutter, at least to my knowledge, they have very, very few how-to articles. With Outdoor Gear Lab, they really have the opportunity to go a little bit deeper into like how-tos. Now, some of these are how-to articles, but they're really framed to review a product. So it's like how to choose the best avalanche beacon. So they're obviously going to review avalanche beacons there, but they're framing it in a way on like how to choose it. So it's more, slightly informational. And I would say from the perspective of, just how to do stuff, they could, how to select, a campsite, that sort of thing, how to pack your backpack for an overnight trip, that sort of thing. So, with that in mind, you have an opportunity to, create content that is helpful. That people are interested in camping and gear if they are, looking for how to set up their campsite. So, the other stuff they may be interested in. Further, in the footer zone here, they have like the normal navigation section and stuff like that. And as always, we're going to take a look at the about page. And I believe that David is alluding to, a lot of the stuff that's going to be on here. So they, again, they have great images, and it shows them actually using the stuff, and they go into detail. This is, I think, one of the best about pages now. It'll be really hard for smaller sites, individual owners to do this sort of thing, but they buy all the products they review. They put it in bold, right? So they have nice formatting here, so it's easy to read. So they select the top products, they buy the products, so they don't get free stuff. And that really demonstrates their, authentic reviews. They're not favoring, a company that gave them more free stuff or anything. So they don't take free material, basically. And then they have the editors go through the products, and they go side by side. They in the lab, in the field, and so on and so forth. So they are talking about like how rigorous their tests are. They rank the products, explain why, and give awards to the best. So as I mentioned, this is probably like one of the best about pages, it gives some background. It shows them using the stuff, and it says their editorial process is so tight that they are literally buying the products and paying retail themselves. They also have an eBay store where they sell the old stuff, right? So that's kind of cool to get a bargain on that. I haven't looked over there, but that's a cool thing. Okay. Next is, they're showing them testing all these tents here, which is pretty darn cool. This is back in 2010, 2011. Again, this is a very mature site. They have a ton of content, and I suspect it may be interesting to do this in future sessions to actually take a look and see, what the site looked like on the web archive, and see like what it looked like in 2010, 2011. I'm sure it was much different. It would also be interesting to see, like, are there some articles that were around in that, initial set of, review of tent? Are there some URLs that are still around and they've updated it over time? I would suspect there probably are. Now, here's something that like the Wirecutter does do. So they have an editor's choice, a best buy, and a top pick. So you're sort of categorizing some of the like information as far as like you know what type of user is this product best for. All right, and then as we go on, I think it's just pretty standard stuff. They have some other sites, Tech Gear Lab and Baby Gear Lab, which, they're able to utilize the same strategies and stuff like that. So let's see here. I think that's about it on the about page. Again, really good, just overall about page. Has the right information. It's not, overwhelming. It's formatted well. They talk about, what they're doing and why they're doing it. So I'm going to hop back to the full screen just for a second. All right, there we go. And I'm going to do a little research myself. So if people are, if you've watched a lot of these or a lot of my videos over the past couple weeks, you know that my crawl space flooded and I had some luggage stored down there. I had like a carry-on bag from like years ago. I used it while I was like traveling a lot, and it got wet. And I was like, you know what? It's like 15 years old. I'm just going to throw it out. So right now I'm without a carry-on bag. So I decided just, when I'm setting up for these live streams for the teardowns, I usually just open up a couple windows and I saw luggage listed in the categories. So I decided, let's look at the luggage stuff because I probably need to get luggage soon. I haven't looked at luggage in a long time. So it'll be, helpful for me. So we're in the luggage section. As I mentioned before, it's sort of a category zone. It's set up almost like a homepage. They allow you to navigate throughout the site. So we see our normal navigation bar here, and then we have, recent posts that were published, it looks like. Then we have the like subcategories, I guess, of this luggage category here. And then you could also filter by the type of review. And they have, they're showing 10 of 150 just to give you an idea. So you have 150 articles on luggage, which again, just to give you an idea on the scope of the site. They are showing their top pick and editor's choice, which I pointed out before. And cool. Okay. So what I'm going to do is look at, I clicked on one earlier, the best carry-on luggage of 2017, which is listed here, right? Now, this is only, 10 of 150, but I know some people ask about like putting the year in the title and, what that does for you. Should you put it in? Should you not put it in? Should you like update it all the time, like whenever the year switches over? I typically don't put the year in personally. you can, I believe, use like the Yoast SEO plugin and put in a variable for the year. And so it'll update as the year changes, right? Over to the next year. But typically, I don't put in the year. I think obviously Outdoor Gear Lab does. So I would suspect it's not a bad thing to do. Now, looking at the like the look of the site, we see that the menu section, the header zone, has changed just a little bit from like what it is on the homepage and the category page. So it's a little different, and I think it's so they can get like more copy, more information, like above the fold sooner. So you'll notice right away that this is a pretty slick looking like theme. And David is telling me that they're using a CMS called Amiro based off of Built With. So, or sorry, Built With is telling us that the CMS is called Amira. It's not WordPress. So, they were coming up in a time like 2010, 2011, when WordPress, was one of the like other options. And, these folks had like a climbing like forum site that they sort of started even before, Outdoor Gear Lab and Baby Gear Lab. So anyway, the point is they're using a different CMS, and there are other themes where you could for WordPress that you could emulate this sort of look, but this is a great way to present the information. So it's going back and forth essentially. We have ratings that you could jump down, and price and value chart. I'm just going to click through the tabs, and then we'll go in more in depth on each one. So buying advice, and then how we test. So there's like a ton of information on this sort of section here. And, if you notice like the URL structure, you can see that you're navigating through almost what appears to be sort of a silo type idea, and you could probably learn some interesting things from that. So off the bat, we see someone using Carry On, so we know we're in the right place. There's some copy to rope you in here, and you can read the full review by clicking this link, and then you have test results and ratings. So this is the table. And this is one of the things that like Outdoor Gear Lab and any of the Gear Labs sites have these sort of tables. So there's tons of information. And as I mentioned before, I mean, you don't have to have a table, right? Like you look at the Wirecutter, they don't have tables. Basically, they use very few tables, if any. And you don't have to have them, right? But you can put so much information into a small section. So we're looking at, 5 choices here, and this is key to note. They have more options, right? We could view all the different carry-on bags, all the products in one table, but they only give us 5 options now, because it would be a little overwhelming if we had more than that. Now, as we scroll down, we see that they're telling us the prices, so they're pulling from the API. So this is it's proper. They're not violating anything. And then they have an overall score. They have a star rating. They have their awards that they've given the editor's choice, the top pick, and the best buy. And those kind of align with what the Wirecutter does as well, as far as top choice, and it's just different semantics, but they're putting a little icon, so you're kind of like, okay, 519, it's obviously more expensive. So if you're the premium buyer, maybe you're going to go for the Briggs and Riley. As we scroll down, they have pros and cons, and then these nice sort of table bar graphs for each of these different sections, which is kind of cool. So you have an idea, like, is it most important to me to have a light suitcase, or is style more important than weight? So you could sort of like look at what is important to you and go from there. All right. So as we're scrolling down, they have deep analysis. They talk about, who reviews it. They have like in the little update section and lots of white space. I love their, the white space and their attention to design and just like not, being too cluttered. There's a lot of stuff on here, but I don't feel like it's cluttered. They also have a table of contents and they have sort of a call out feature section here, which looks awesome, right? So a picture of the product, whatever it is. They have the editor's choice, whatever award it won, and then the price at Amazon, and then see it, which goes over to Amazon. All right. Next, we have just sort of bullet points about the product, and then they go a little bit deeper. This is sort of like the mini review section on this specific product. Now, a lot of people do ask, like, hey, should I have a longer review? Should I have, a short review and then a link to my longer one? So, Outdoor Gear Lab opts for the longer option, right? So, they have a longer option in an individual review and they put a subset of the information in the longer review. Now, you'll notice when I click on this, I'm going to go ahead and open it up. So Eagle Creek Tarmac carry-on, right? So we have this one here. We have the mini review. We have some information. And when we look at the deeper review, we see that they are sticking with kind of the silo idea. So it's I'm going to start at the beginning. So it's outdoorgearlab.com/reviews/travel/carry-on/Eagle Creek Tarmac AWD carry-on, right? It's a little long, I'll be honest, that's a little bit of a long URL, but I'm sure it works fine. Now, when we go into the deeper review, it's obviously fairly long. They break down sort of the information in the table and they put it in this, single column table essentially. So it's a little easier to read, same information. They still have a table of contents and they have a link over to Amazon, an affiliate link over to Amazon. And the image here is actually not an affiliate link. It's just a link to see the bigger image. So from there, they go, into a normal, style review. They do refer back to the best luggage, I guess the parent page we could refer to it as, and the 10 other products listed here. And it's, this one, the Eagle Creek, is ranked number 1. And as we scroll down, we see that it's just a normal review. They cover the same points. So I'm not going to go ramble on too much here. They show, packing it up and how it looks. So it's a very thorough review. They use these tables again with the bar graphs, and really like an awesome way to visualize like where this particular product ranks compared to the others as far as durability or, whatever the table refers to. So it's a great way to give like a tight review and for someone to actually make a good comparison with the other products. Now, this is a good sort of conclusion section here. So they talk about best applications, the value, and then the conclusion. So I think it's great to have the best applications. A lot of times, people gloss over that section. Now, if you're doing this for a lot of different products, some of them may be redundant, right? Because there are essentially equivalent products and different, from different companies. So if they're competing head to head, they will have the same application. So you may have to be a little creative about how you're stating that, but not everyone is going to read every review. Okay. From here, there is where to buy. So another, sort of call to action at the end. In this case, are just referring us to Amazon. But, for other products, if you click around on Outdoor Gear Lab for other products, you will see they have, several other affiliate programs that they work with. And they often list the price and then, give you the option. Potentially some people would always go with a cheaper price. Some people would, go with a company that they, prefer over others sometimes, even if it is more expensive. So it just depends on, you know, what people think. So this is the individual review. And if we jump back, we'll see, you know, the mini review. So they consolidated a lot of the information from the long review into this shorter review so you can get an idea. And as we scroll down, we see we're still just at the beginning of this post. So let's look real quick. How long is this article? So this is a tool called SEO Quake. It's free. This the long review has 6,000 words. All right. So there's 6,000 words, which is, you know, quite a few. And then the long review for the individual Eagle Creek, that is 3,000 words. So just to give you an idea, so this Eagle Creek is 3,000, and then the main review is 6,000. So these are, you know, long form. And then when you look and think about, you know, each one of these 10, it's long, right? So each one of the 10 reviews has probably 3,000 words. So there's like 10 of those reviews. This is a good study in silos and interlinking the sites, right? So interlinking within your own site. So there are 10 of these long form reviews for each of the products that are probably around 3,000 words. So it's 30,000 words, 10 posts at least, pointing back to this page, best carry on luggage. So to give you an idea, you know, you get some relevancy, you get some links, and Google is going to view you like you know what you're talking about if you have like that amount of content around a topic. And you can see, if you start looking around Outdoor Gear Lab, you'll see they do this all over the place. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit faster. They give you the ability to, you know, compare specific products. So let's look at maybe, you know, 87 and then the 68 and the 58. Now, this is something I try and point out to people often. You want to have a range of products. You don't want to always pick the most expensive, because some people don't want the most expensive things. Some people always want the cheapest option, even if it's, you know, a piece of junk. And then some people always want the most expensive thing, even if, you know, it's just overpriced. So let's see what happens when we compare them. Cool. It puts it in a table where we can, you know, easily compare, you know, these different products and see, you know, does this Rockland Melbourne 20, is it really that bad? I mean, I just need to, use it for a vacation once a year. They tell you the cons are poor construction and difficult to wheel. Actually, that sounds kind of sucky. The Eagle Creek, they say it's technical. The technical styling is not for everyone. So maybe that is the issue there. All right. So, and they give you, I mean, it's the same table format, and they just allow you to pick exactly what you want to put in there. So that's great. So as we scroll down, we see how they do the analysis and the test results. And as we scroll down, we see they just go deeper and deeper. And essentially what they're doing is they're going over the review process. And then whenever they do the long form reviews, like we looked at for the Eagle Creek, we see that they're essentially just, you know, using the same sections and, you know, customizing it for the individual reviews. Now I'm going to have to cough for a second. My throat is getting a little scratchy here. And we're back. And so I'm just going to scroll a little faster because it's a bit redundant as, you know, you get into the deep details. However, as we're going through, I will say that I hear people, you know, ask, how can I possibly make a post 6,000 words? How can I make it so long? Like, I don't have enough stuff to say about a particular product. And if you are uninspired, right? If you're not sure yet, because you'll figure it out, right? If you're unsure yet, have a look at like Outdoor Gear Lab and Baby Gear Lab, because they write some like crazy long form content. And if you're unsure, then basically you can get ideas from best in class. That's one of the reasons why I've been going over. We did Wirecutter last week. If you didn't see it, check it out. So if you're doing Wirecutter, then or sorry, if you didn't see Wirecutter, then check it out. And then we're going over these so you can see like how you can take the like best in class sites that are big enough where they're doing testing, they have big teams, they've been around for a decade, and like learn what they're doing, analyze what they're doing, and then apply it to your own site. So I'm gonna take a look really quick to see if there's any more stuff in the like tabs section to look at. Now, if you have questions, I see the chat is very excited over there. If you have any questions about what we're talking about today, I would love to hear them. Now, as far as any of the other videos from Income School, I'll save that for another time, maybe later today. But for now, I'll be very brief, and I'll read the questions and stuff over there. But the challenge with live streams is the title that is there, right? Gets people to take a look at what is in the content of the video. So if we start talking about other stuff, it gets way off topic. So I'm going to take a look at some of the other sections here. Okay, so as far as like the buying advice, and I'm going to start sharing my screen again. So how to choose carry-on luggage. And basically this is like the buying guide section. So I know a lot of times people ask, hey, should I have the buying guide, before the products that I look at or after or anything like that? So basically, you could put it wherever you want. I often put it after, I recommend the products. So I'll go over some products and then I'll have the buying guide at the end. Long form, it's hard, right, to get someone to read 5,000 words and then get to the products and then make the decision. So it's usually better to give them some options up front, kind of like the Wirecutter does, and then just get to it. And when we refer to this buying guide, you have to click the tab to get to it. The overview gives you just enough information, and then it gives you options to buy right away, right? You have affiliate links, you can get to the products and get to them right away. So that is what we're going to go over for today. I have a couple quick announcements. So I know we have 42 people on right now. What I need you to do is take a look at the description. I'm doing a live training. It's a free workshop tomorrow, no pitch, nothing like that, on scaling niche sites. So it's really around content and how to publish a lot of content in a short amount of time. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, you should sign up for the free training. Like I said, I think I put a link. I think I thought I had just enough to put a link in the description so you can sign up for that. You just have to put in your email, and that'll be tomorrow at 10 a.m. It won't be on YouTube. So if you're not signed up for the email list, then you should, sign up for that webinar. Additionally, today, if you have questions, I will answer them quickly. All right. I'll answer them quickly if they're not related to what we're talking about. But on Fridays, those are great. So on Friday, I have the Q&A day, and I will answer your questions. If they are random questions, that is cool. I accept those. And basically, sorry, David posted something, but it didn't work out. So anyway, basically, Friday, Q&A day, same time, same place. If you are subscribed to the channel, you should see that. So I'm going to scroll up, and hopefully, let me scroll up here and see what's going on. Okay. And I see there were a lot of, I'm actually going to read all the stuff about the Income School video. So Ricky sent me an email yesterday, said they were going to publish something. And I was like, hey, let's have a meeting. So we're going to talk about it. And I will, since I'm already talking about it, basically, I think it's fine. So I'm going to do another video, and I'll reply back and everything. I do want to speak to them. It's getting into an area in which, I don't like politics, right? This is very close to corporate politics, and I work for myself, so I don't have to play. But what I'll mention is their channel's like twice as big as mine. And if they had to reply to me, if they're putting down my material, well, I think that means that's great. I think it's fantastic. So I'll leave it at that. Although I'm going to read the comments here in the chat to get an idea. And Jaron says, it would be interesting for me to watch it live and pause with commentary. I'm much more deliberate than that, Jaron. I think that would be super interesting, but I am way more deliberate than that. John, what's up? John says, do most buyers actually read the about page? No. What percent really care? I have no clue. Most only spend a little time on one page, let alone the about page. So, John, here's why you should care about the about page. If you are, maybe it doesn't matter for Outdoor Gear Lab so much. I think they do get huge credibility for buying those products, but I'm pretty sure they had that kind of about page for years. For you, John, the reason why it's important is because if you're going to go out and network within the niche, if you're going to try and get guest posts and stuff, the other people that are vetting you and your site, they will take a look at your about page. And if your about page, doesn't tell a story and doesn't show credibility, doesn't look authentic, then you will have an issue. However, most people are not going to read it. The people that will read it are the important ones. So that is why you care. So normal just visitor to the site, they're not going to care. All right. And as we scroll down, we see blah, blah, blah. I love so many people. So many people are telling me about the KGR post. Like I said, Jim and Ricky are great. I think they're fine. They're fine guys, great marketers. They are awesome on YouTube, right? I mean, they've been growing like crazy. They obviously know how to title their videos in a very effective way. Jennifer Fox says, do I know anything other than KGR? I know so much it would blow your mind. I can't even get into it all. And then we have, let's see, Okay. Mahmood says, you think a teardown for Outdoor Gear Lab isn't helpful because it's a huge site and valued for millions. You think it's better to tear down small and medium-sized sites. Okay. Okay. So I kind of mentioned it before, and I think Mumid, yeah, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I talked about this with the wire cutter, and I do understand your reservation on like looking at a big site. But what you can gather, right? So if I'm watching, say, Gary Vee and how he is approaching some portion of his business, and I try and emulate that, it's probably not going to work right. It doesn't mean I can't learn from principles that he is applying and then, see what he's doing, see what he's testing, right? See how he's like trying to, put out a piece of content. And then if he continues to do it, we can probably assume that it's working, right? If it doesn't, if we don't see him doing that anymore, then it means it probably didn't work like he expected, or it didn't pan out how he thought. However, if we look at big sites, it doesn't mean we can't learn anything. And I'm sorry you don't think this is helpful, but there are some other videos where I just review smaller sites. But I have to say, if you step back, Mumid, and you look at not just niche sites, right? If you step back and you're like, oh, what is this big company doing to grow their email list? I don't know. I don't have very many good examples, but if you look at what people are doing and you try and like dissect what they're doing, even if you can't apply it directly, like the analysis will help you. So what do you think, Mubid? All right. Okay, and then Jennifer Fox is awesome. So why do I keep reviewing authority sites on Tuesday teardown? It's kind of my thing, you know. Today's Wednesday also, and I missed it. But okay, Jennifer says, do I even know the difference between authority sites and niche sites, or you just got lucky building them? I think I'm a lucky man. Yeah. Um, she's awesome. Okay. The our our moderators are pretty good, but I think I've had enough of Jennifer here. So, and let's see. Hold on, hold on. I'm almost done. Okay. We're good. All right. Everybody play nice. This is cool. Well, all the people that that are over, or sorry, all the people that are mentioning the income school video, really appreciate it. They did let me know, and I'll respond in a timely fashion or whatever. I requested to meet with them, and we're going to talk and chat and everything. They let me know ahead of time, so it's all good. And I was going to say, all the people that are mentioning it to me here, you go put it in the comments over there. That'll be the best thing to do, because I'm not the thing that I won't do is like defend my position, because I don't need to. I think other people will. So if you're so inclined, you can do so. But I don't. Yeah, I don't need to defend my position. I'm so confident. All right. So thanks everyone. I think it's fantastic that you're letting me know. Okay. Andy says the KGR equals 0. Um, it, so that denotes like all in title is 0. So you go for it. That's good. All right. And then John is mentioning don't debate. Yeah, yeah. I think I'm all good. I'm all good. And and Kevin, and I have to be careful to not get into this, but Kevin, there were like I published like 3 videos. All right, I published like 3 videos. I think it was like 2 weeks ago, and it was success stories of the KGR, one of which is an income school student, which we talked about, and they even replied back. So, I mean, I think like I'm confident in. I don't even have to show the proof. Other people will do it for me. It's that good. Okay, I'll shut up about that because I don't want to. I will have another video on it. So okay. So any other questions about Outdoor Gear Lab or teardowns? And for the person, Mumid, I hope my description and explanation on why we're looking at big sites was helpful. And I'm interested if you still have an issue with it. I mean, it's interesting for me, so we'll continue to do it. And I know it's interesting for other people. So um, I know a lot of people may not be able to like look directly and be able to apply it directly, but it is, you know, it's basically a great way to see what's working is to like look further ahead and be able to dissect and see how you apply directly. Pratt Mesh says, what plugin does Outdoor Gear Lab use for tables? No clue. It's probably a custom solution there. And, there are tools where you can just look up and see like, I think David posted it earlier. It's called Built With, if I remember right. But basically, you could see what they're using. They're not using WordPress. So, okay. It looks like the questions have died down. Don't forget, everyone, there's the free workshop tomorrow. So be sure you sign up if you want to learn how to scale your site. I use the project management templates that, Jennifer apparently didn't like and maybe doesn't like me personally or anything like that. But I show you, I give you those templates and you can check them out. And it's really about like growing a team from like just yourself and growing slowly in a systematic way so that you could actually publish a lot of content. So cool. And Thwolf says, you think that for beginners, looking at bigger sites is a bit demotivating. Seeing small sites succeed has quite the opposite effect. Okay, interesting. I think that's probably natural. And there are several other, if you check out like some of the playlists on my channel, there are reviews of much smaller sites to get you motivated. And I think, again, I do a variety of stuff. So if you don't like these, you could look at the smaller sites. But I think you may be missing out if you just think, hey, I can't learn anything from these big companies because they're too big and I'm just getting started out. All right, cool. So thanks everyone for hopping on, and Pete, awesome. So thanks for letting me know, everyone. And like I said, if you're so inclined, feel free to get in on the comments in the income school. But I'll probably have a response in a few days or something like that. Okay, everybody have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow.